Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2018 with Blackburn Rovers. It's been a long time, and there's a couple of good reasons for that. Firstly, I've moved house. Secondly, because I've moved house, I've not had anywhere near as much time to actually record some stuff. And thirdly, I've currently got an RSI in my right wrist. Basically from playing Football Manager too much, probably. But we're back. I'm going to try and suffer through. I'm wearing a splint thing on my wrist to stop me making it any worse. Anyway, we are into the 2029-2030 season. We are, how many years is that now? What, 13-ish, maybe? 12, some number? It's above 10, I know that much. We're into whatever season that is. And last season, we were so close to winning the title, being pipped by Manchester United. Just 1 point. We scored 106 goals. Our problem was we conceded 70. So, with that in mind, we've done some investing. I've spent not a huge amount of money. I've spent a lot of money. I've not received a lot of money in. This episode is going to be pretty much a transfer special because there's a lot that's happened and a lot I need to go through. One thing that I want to mention, I'm pretty sure I have mentioned it before, but we are moving into Ronnie Clayton Park. We've got 2 more years left at the very, very old now Ewood Park. Then we move into the 40,942 capacity Ronnie Clayton Park. We've got 2 more years. And I believe I said we've got 3 more years left at Blackburn, however long our contract is. We will leave Blackburn at the end of the first season at Ronnie Clayton Park. So our final year will be the first year of a new era of Blackburn Rovers. Transfer time then, let's go through all of the outs. There's a lot have gone out on loan as well. First up, Ivorian right back Lamine Traore has left. He's gone to Espanyol. His contract ran out. He just left on a free transfer. Bit annoying because I kind of need a right back. For 600k, our English goalkeeper David Belt has signed for Hull. He's played a lot of games for us. I think he was our first choice goalkeeper for the first season in the Premier League, I believe. But he needed to move on because I've invested heavily in goalkeepers. For 650k, Thiago Enrique has left. He's gone to Barnsley. He played 2 games for us. We really needed a right back. He came in on a free transfer, I think. To get any money for him is a bonus. For £1.8 million, the legend that is Marco Compan has left and signed for Wolves. Despite never kicking a ball for us, he is partially responsible for us being in the Premier League because he scored a goal for Colchester, back down in the Championship, which meant that we got promoted to the Premier League. But he is on his way to Wolves. Decent amount of money for him for a player who he's not good enough for us. Goodbye, Stevie Simpson. 265 games for Blackburn Rovers. He was an absolute legend for us. Unfortunately, we've outgrown him. If we were still a Championship side, he'd still be playing and he'd probably end up starting to break records for most appearances. But he has left. He's gone to Watford for £2.5 million. And I just want to go back, look at his career. He started with us back in the 2018-2019 season. So he started before we were even at Blackburn. And then steadily all through the Championship. Basically, he played every single game for us in the Championship. All bar probably about 10 maybe. Got to the Premier League, got 14 games in his first season, scoring a goal as well. And then slowly but steadily been replaced by other players who are better than him. So he's still in the Premier League at Watford. But goodbye, Stevie Simpson. For £2.9 million, raising potentially to £3.5 million, Abdoulaye Kamara, the Guinean central defender who came in from Juventus, AC Milan, someone like that? Who was it? Yes, it was Juventus. So he came from Juventus, I believe. I never really kind of connected with him. He was just one of those players that he was there. He's really good as a defender. Like, he's got the ideal stats for a defender. But that's it. He can't do much else other than defend. Another product of our youth system is on his way out. Clive Todd has signed for Cardiff for £3 million. 108 appearances for us, 15 goals. Once we changed our formation, he kind of became surplus to requirements, and the change in formation obviously meant that we finished second place in the table. I don't think we can really kind of repurpose him for anything else, so he's gone off to make a name for himself at Cardiff now. And also for £3 million, Alexander Bloomline has signed for Hertha. He was there on loan last season. He was a player who my scouts lied about. They said he was going to be one of the best footballers in the world, so I spent quite a bit of money on him, I think, just to get him in. I was going to repurpose him. Oh, 2.5 million. Yeah, I was going to try and repurpose him. It wasn't going to work. Loaned out last season, sold to Hertha. We made some money on him. And the final transfer where we get a bit of money in and people have left permanently is Mike Kirkegaard, the goal-scoring machine in League One in the Championship. 23 goals for Barnsley, 25 for relegated Luton. He's signed for LA Galaxy in the MLS for £3.5 million, I think? Yep, £3.5 million. We spent 725k. He was a good little player, but I think we found his level. He's like Rob Earnshaw, I think, is probably the best way to describe Mike Kirkegaard. There are a lot more loans out than I'm going to mention, but here are just a few that are quite interesting to keep an eye on. Hassan, the Iranian midfielder, has gone on loan to Montpellier for the season. He's going to be playing first-team football in Ligue 1, which is going to be superb for his development. Bizu, the Brazilian goalkeeper, now 21 years old, has gone on loan to Darmstadt in the Bundesliga, or maybe the one just below the Bundesliga, I'm not quite sure. He's going to get first-team football there, which I think is what he needs to develop. Our first choice goalkeeper from last season, German Cordoba, has gone out on loan for the season to Malaga. Now, I've replaced him twice. I'll come to that in a minute. I bought two very, very good first choice goalkeepers, and he's my third choice goalkeeper now, so he's gone out on loan for the whole season to Malaga. He might come back and challenge for the number 1 jersey next season. I don't quite know. The Serbian midfielder, the Serbian wonderkid midfielder, Nikola Popovic, has gone out on loan to Tottenham for the season. He has constantly been going out on loan to various really good clubs, Southampton, Middlesbrough and Tottenham, every year, just constantly improving, and he still doesn't get into our first team. Now this one I'm quite excited about. Andil Maheo, the South African defender, has gone on loan to VfB Stuttgart for the year. He needs first team football. If he gets first team football in the Bundesliga, he is going to come back a much, much better footballer, and then he can actually probably play for a first choice place, because at the moment he's struggling a little bit. James Sani, the Nigerian midfielder, has gone out on loan to Hertha Berlin. He spent last season on loan at Montpellier. My scouts and coach staff keep saying, why are you loaning him out? He's good enough to play for us. I agree, he is, but he's not going to play 40 games a season for us. He probably will at Hertha. And the final one to mention is a bit of a weird one, but also a very encouraging one. Paul Oakdina, the English striker, has gone on loan to Eibar for the season. Now, I'm going to tweak the formation a bit. I'm not going to play 3 strikers. I have bought more strikers. I needed to ship some out. I didn't really do that. Eibar wanted to loan Paul Oakdina. I went, you know what? Yes, that sounds like a great idea. Tottenham also wanted to loan him. I thought, no, you're not going to play in the Premier League because that's going to affect us. Go to Spain, learn a new language, have some fun in Spain, come back as a much better footballer, possibly even with England caps. In addition to the players that I've mentioned, Anton Gruber, Laurent Barthélemy, Yunus Götze, Jason Joseph, Yuri Meslik, Sif Haleli Mabambo, Musa Kwaku Bamba, Dave Shepherd, Musa Juru, and that's all of them, have gone out on loan as well to various clubs around the country. Darmstadt, I think, have picked up 2 of our players. Queen of the South have picked up 2 of our players as well. So there's some decent young players going out on loan to get first-team football as well. Anton Gruber at Bournemouth, that's quite a big deal, I think. Players coming in then, in order of expense. First up is a loan signing from PSG. It's Amari Valentin. He is a left and right-sided fullback. I've got him in on a backup loan deal for the season because I don't have too many right-backs. I have one. He's left-footed, so he's mainly a left-back, but he can play right-back. That's my plan for him. For 300k, Constant Diaby, the Ivorian left winger, or left midfielder, has come in. He's going to get retrained, possibly as a striker. I'm not sure yet. I've not worked him out yet. He's come in for however many years is on his contract. Probably going to get loaned out by the time he's 20 and sold by the time he's 21. Danish central defender Lucas Bay has joined for 800k and he's going to immediately go out on loan. I'm not sure who's actually after him. It is Darmstadt. There you go. That's the team. I said they've got a couple of players. They haven't yet. They will do. Lucas Bay is going to go out on loan. And now the transfer values massively increase. For 6.75 million, Thomas Valenta, the Czech striker, has joined from Celtic. I want him to be first team footballer, but I'm kind of struggling. I do like the fact that he does attempt overhead kicks though, so we might see some absolute worldies from him if he does play. For £9 million in order to try and shore up our defence a little bit, Ricardo Gomes Rigo, the Brazilian central defender, has joined from Internacional, I think? Yeah, he looks really good. I really do like the look of him. He's only 24, so he's got a long future ahead of him. We can easily get maybe 5 or 6 years out of him. He's a lot of money, but he's a very good footballer. The first of our goalkeepers that we've signed, and notice I said first, and this is the cheaper one. The last transfer was under £10 million. Juan Pablo Velez is at £10.25 million. He is a ridiculously good goalkeeper. He's 24 years old, so he's actually our oldest goalkeeper. He is our number one keeper at the moment. The other guy we've bought, I'll get to him in a minute, he'll probably be sat on the bench and probably get very annoyed. But, I mean, he's ridiculous. He's such a good keeper. I need him to have a good season. And the other keeper, who cost £15 million, is Brazilian Gil. He's come from Flamengo. Once again, he's a really good keeper. 3-star current ability, so not as good. Potentially 4.5-star keeper. Maybe I loan him out, I don't know. But he's going to sit on the bench. He's coming as a key player as well. I've got 2 key players who are goalkeepers. I don't know how I'm going to work this one out. We have a returning player, Rafael Capone, who spent 2 seasons on loan with us, I think back in the Championship days. He has rejoined the club as a rotational central defender. He's only 2.5-star current ability, which I think is a little bit unfair. He's much better than that. He has joined for, I can't remember, £16 million. It's a lot of money for a player who's basically going to sit on the bench for most of the season. But we know who he is. He can speak the language. We've had him for 2 years before. I think we'll be fine. He can also play left back if we need him to. And finally, the icing on the cake. Alberto Torres, Colombian central midfielder. He's joined from Real San Sebastian, which is Real Sociedad, if I'm not mistaken. £30 million. It's a lot of money, but he's a ridiculously good footballer. He is going to be the linchpin in the midfield. He's actually not going to be an advanced playmaker. He's going to be a Mazzala, because he can pretty much do all of it. It's only finishing that he's not very good at. He's probably going to kick Dennis Montoya out of his starting position, but for £30 million, you'd kind of expect it. So that is all of the transfer business for the summer window done for us. I think the window's still open for other clubs, but in England, because the league is about 3 days away from starting, we're done. There is no more transfers that we can do. We can't bring anyone in. We can't sell any. Well, we can sell people, just not to England. There'll probably be some more players out. I don't think there's going to be anyone huge leaving, unless Atletico Madrid come in with an £80 million bid for Gustavo Ortuzo. I want to sell him. I don't want to sell him, but I'm for £80 million. If that's kind of my price range for him. If we get that money, that's silly money, and I've got plenty of other strikers that can take his place. Now, when it comes to tactics, what I'm looking at doing is I'm still going to do the 5-2-3, but I'm going to change it from 3 strikers to 2 complete forwards and a shadow striker behind. I don't know whether that's going to work well or not. Ignore the players that are in their positions. I mean, that's probably accurate with what I'm going to be doing. Midfield, maybe Torres, Montoya is going to change. Fenton might not be the shadow striker, but this is probably what I'm going to go with for the majority of the season. If it starts going balls up, then I'm probably going to revert back to the other one. Another thing I am going to do with this Blackburn save, I'm going to change it from being 2 matches an episode. Going to drop it down to 1 match because time constraints, things like that. I want to make the episodes a little bit shorter because sometimes they're getting sort of 25-minute episodes. For all I know, this is like half an hour now. So I want to try and trim them down, make them nice, quick, snappy episodes. If we're doing 1 a day, which is still what the plan is going to be, then the shorter the better for me. We are in the Champions League. That is something that we need to make sure we kind of keep on our radar, because the Champions League, I don't know what's going to happen in that. For all I know, we could be one of the best teams in the Champions League, or we could be one of the worst. I'm going to leave this here for this episode. Next episode, we will have the first game of the season up against Everton. And I want to kind of go through the season quickly, but also slow enough so you kind of don't miss anything exciting. So we're going to have Everton. We're probably going to have, the next episode will be the Champions League group stage first match. I don't know. Why am I planning ahead? I can't plan ahead. We all know this. I'm terrible at it. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Football Manager 2018 with Blackburn Rovers. What players that I've signed do you think are going to have the biggest impact? What players have I sold am I going to miss the most? To be honest, I'm thinking Paul Oakdena might be a mistake to loan him out, but I've got plenty of other strikers. If you did enjoy this episode, if you would not mind leaving a like, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.